abundant living as a way of life. As a way of life. This month, the Joyful Gathering, and we're going to explore, we have been and we will continue to explore the deep, timeless, and timely ideas contained in this rich book. Pun intended. It's a rich book. And if you are interested in seeking a more fulfilling human experience, a greater understanding of God, of your understanding, which is all of us anyway, and a way to apply these spiritual practices of abundance in all areas of your life, then this series of talks is for you. Each and every one of them. It always is for us. It's for me, it's for you, there's only one, right? We are, right? Right. I hope you know like it or not. Right. We are saying in our New Thought teachings that God can only do for us what God can do through us. Think about that. We've heard that. It's simple, but it's really powerful. And no truer words have been spoken. In other words, we are an inlet and an outlet for the divine to express through. That's what we are. And please repeat this after me. I am an inlet.
I am an inlet.
I am an outlet.
I am an outlet.
For God, for and of God.
For and of God.
That's what we all are. Inlets and outlets. It's a flow. And when there's stagnation that lack of limitation can bring about, there is no flow. There's a dam. And that dam keeps the good out. And we want all the good we can get. Yes? I know I do. I'll tell you that right now. So here's an example of how it works. I've told this story before, but I like it, so I'm telling it again. It's about this little boy who wrote a letter to God. So a postal worker found the envelope addressed to God. And it was written in a child's handwriting. He opened it up and read the letter. Dear God, my daddy has been sick, and we have no money to pay the rent and to buy food. God, please send us $500. Your friend, Tommy. The postal worker was so touched that he took the letter to all of his fellow co-workers, and it created an opportunity for people to give to this cause. And within a week, he had raised $300 for this cause. And so he put it in an envelope and addressed it back to the boy. 2 days later, another envelope arrived at the postal department. And this letter read, Dear God, thank you very much for the $300. But next time, would you send the money directly to us? If you send it through the postal office, they deduct $200. Kind of goes with it. You, like Johnny and the post office, are both inlets and outlets for this flow of good. And it is, capital G, good. And that's everything that we want to experience good. It's for the divine in all aspects of the divine, including this thing we call abundance. Nothing is lacking in abundance. Not in the true sense of who we are. We are divine beings. There is nothing lacking in our divinity. Nothing. Can't be. Can't be. Maybe in our outer world it looks that way, but we go within and we connect with that inner abundance and bring that forth into our outer experience. How wide are your inlets and outlets? The channels that flow in and out. Will they let you accept all the good or just 300 of the 500. Just a little trickle comes through. And they are as wide as you would like, because you're the one that controls the flow. You control it through your thoughts and your feelings and your actions. And today's the day we're going to expand them if you choose. First, the definition of abundance consciousness. First, Fillmore tells us in a mashup of words from different parts of his book, Prosperity. Poverty or prosperity, it all depends on you. All the Father has, I don't like Father, but all the universe has is yours. But you alone are responsible for the relationship to the Father's good to your life. Through our souls, God's wealth finds its expressions. Wealth of consciousness, wealth of feeling that I am so good. We all know gratitude is the key. It is the key to all prosperity, to all abundance. And we are so grateful for all that is in our lives. We're so grateful to be here. We're so grateful for so much. There's so much to be grateful for. And this wealth consciousness cannot express itself if you do not allow it. And it's a wealth of manifestation. And if you were here last week, remember that we defined abundance consciousness. The definition was this: today I live in abundance consciousness, meaning I think from, feel from, believe from, speak from, act from, and react from a place that says, from substance I was created. I explained substance last week. It is the infinite field, the quantum field of infinite potential, which is the law. There is nothing lacking. And we're like the fish in the ocean who don't know we're in the water, and we're looking for the water. We are in this sea of divine good all of the time. It's the truth of our being. So back to substance then. In substance I live, move, and have my being. By substance I am fed and prospered. This spiritual substance is steadfast and immovable, enduring, ever the same, constant, abundance, freely circulating and available. But we have to open up to it. If we think we don't have enough, if we think we're lacking in anything, then we have closed off the channel. And it all comes from our thoughts and our feelings. That's what closes or opens it. And and you can prove these things to yourself. Prove them. I know many of us have proven them to ourselves. When things look so dim and dark and all that stuff, go, wait a second. That's when you sit down and give yourself a good talk. And you say, wait a second. You believe in these teachings, and there is an abundant source that is forever expressing, and you're in it. You're in it. Allow it in. And it will flow. I guarantee it will, as long as you don't get in the way with those thoughts of lack. When you embody these ideas and truly live from them, you will have created a wealthy consciousness, which in turn expresses itself in a wealth of manifestation to you and through you. The second way we can widen our inlet and outlet channels is by realizing, one of our favorites, God has my back. We say my back, my front. We are God's, so. But anyway, for this, God has my back. But you gotta get in the game. That's the trick. You gotta get in the game. You can sit at home all you want and repeat all the affirmations you want about I am wealth, I am abundant, but then don't do anything. If you don't do anything, nothing will happen. It just doesn't work that way. You gotta get in the game, okay? Let me say that again because it really, really is important. God's got your back, but you have to get in the game. The idea relates to the words in Prosperity, where he writes, when we have given ourselves entirely to Spirit, we may do things without knowing exactly why. That is because faith is at work in us. Even if we do not know the spiritual law, you don't have to know it, it's there, and cannot explain faith to others. It cannot explain faith to the outer consciousness. That's our ego consciousness. It continues to do its perfect work and eventually brings forth demonstrations. It's the way it works. And we have to work it. It's that simple. Sometimes it's even a demonstration that we didn't even know we needed. That happens all the time. That's why when we pray, the end of that affirmative prayer is this or something better. Because this infinite universe, all these parallel universes that we live in, which is beyond my comprehension and probably most of us, but there's infinite possibilities and potential, and things take place. When we set our intention and move out into the world, things take place that we could never have planned. The spiritual center, as I always say, is a perfect example. I didn't plan it. Carol knows, she was with me the whole time. I didn't plan it. It planned itself. But I got out and I got in the game. So by getting in the game, all these things took place that I didn't know anything about. Now I do. So that's the way it works. If we don't say yes when something arises that might feel a little uncomfortable, so we say, oh, that's okay. That could be the opportunity of what you desired manifesting in your life, but you said no. So say yes when it feels right, when it feels good. Sometimes it's even a demonstration we didn't know we needed. When we have given ourselves entirely to Spirit, that means just knowing that this energy we live in is always providing for us. It truly is. It really is. We may do things without knowing exactly why we're doing them. This is the part about us needing to get in the game. We have to do the thing, whatever it is that we are guided to do. That is because faith is at work always for us. It's always working. If we do not know the law and cannot explain faith to the outer consciousness, it continues to do its perfect work. It continues to do it. We don't have to know why. Well, we know the what, and we let the universe do the hows. And so how the universe operates and functions and brings in the idea of what we want, the desire of what we want, we don't have to know how it's going to do it. Because we can't know. We can't know we're going to get, oh, I bumped into someone and they said, hey, why don't you open a spiritual center here? Okay. I don't know how to open a spiritual center, right? You got to have a board. I go look up the laws. You got to have a board of trustees. Well, never been on one. Guess what? Manifested one in one day. That's the way it works. When you just keep following it and not doubting it, not doubting it. So our intuition is always giving us direction and messages. It really is. How often do we listen? How often do we listen to this divine guidance that is always within us, guiding us? And the truth is that God always does have our backs. But we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention and take the appropriate action. In other words, we have to get ourselves in the game. Gotta get in the game, baby. And then the third is tithe our way to prosperity. So let me share with you one final way, and every prosperity writer writes about this, in which we widen our inlet and our outlet channels. And this comes from another writing from Prosperity by Charles Fillmore. The great promise of prosperity is that if we seek God and his righteousness first, then, and that means right thinking, righteousness, then all shall be added unto us. One of the most practical and sensible ways of seeking God's freedom first is to put God first in finances. When we put God first in finances, not only in thought, but in every action, what happens? Let's see. Well, I can tell you what happens. Anyway, I'm reading from Fillmore, so I can't tell you. Okay, so when we put God first in every action, it releases our first fruits, which is a 10th part of increase or income to the Lord. This is still Fillmore. Our faith is omnipresent supply, becoming 100-fold stronger, and prosper accordingly. Obeying this law gives us an inner knowing that we are building our finances on a sure foundation that will not fail us. It is the promise of God, the logical thing to do, and the experience of all who have tried it, that all things necessary to their comfort, welfare, happiness have been added to them in an overflowing measure. That's from Charles Fillmore. We're probably all familiar with the Prove Me Now tithing challenge that God gave us. If not, maybe you will be. And it appeared in Malachi. It is a powerful challenge and promise. But did you know that before God made that challenge in life, eventually the scripture says he made wait a minute, let me go back again. Jacob, this is about Jacob. Jacob made this promise to God. In fact, he made a covenant with God in which he asked for prosperity, guidance, peace of mind, reconciliation with his family. In turn, he made a promise to God. He said, of all that thou shalt give me, I will give the 10th to thee. That's in Genesis. And it seems that God took Jacob up on the deal because he blessed him with all those things and so much more. Catherine Ponder, who is known as the Prosperity Queen, in her book, Dynamic Laws of Prosperity, writes, "It is a little wonder that Jacob became one of the Bible's earliest millionaires. Those who tithe take God as their financial partner. There is no other partner I want in life. God as their financial partner. Today, realizing that this holy alliance will help them to prosper in just and orderly ways, just as it did Jacob." That's from Catherine Ponder. The second thing I want to say about tithing, a very interesting phenomenon I have experienced, and countless others as well, is that this is interesting, that if we give 10% off the top, and all of our money comes in, we really won't miss it much. It's kind of like an automatic withdrawal. But if we wait till the end, then we usually forget. Or we usually don't have enough. There's always something. So it's like an automatic, I have so many things on automatic, like withdrawal from my checking account that I don't even know it's coming in and out. I just know everything's paid. And that's kind of like make God your partner. Make the universe, the substance, your partner. So my friends, how do we want to widen our inlets and our outlets for God's good? We live from, fully embrace and embody abundance consciousness. That's number one. Number two, we give ourselves entirely to Spirit by listening and following divine guidance. And then three, we put God first in finances through the high and holy spiritual practices of tithing. In these ways, that's why we're a tithing organization. Truly, it's amazing what happens. In these ways, we have a more fulfilling human experience. And that's what we all want. We want to live a fulfilling life. I want to feel fulfilled and at peace and calm and loved. Or I want to love. Why not? So we get a greater understanding of God, a greater abundance in all areas of our lives, and how blessed we shall be. So at this point, because I thought this was a little too short, I think we're going to do a short affirmative prayer. Okay? So just invite you to close your eyes, and we're just going to this field. Okay, so take a nice deep breath as always. And enter into this field of infinite possibilities, where all is possible, where this divine omnipresence is always giving of itself by its grace, by its love. And I know that this infinite power for good is who each and every living creature is. Each one has been created out of the substance of love, of God. It's all interconnected. It's all entangled. It's all part of the oneness of life. And in the end of this human experience, we shall find out. We shall find out if this is in fact true. I prefer to live my life practicing the presence of God, practicing myself, and coming from that consciousness of love, of giving, of receiving, of listening to this infinite guidance as it moves in and through and as me. I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for the spiritual center, Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. This place where we just love everyone that walks in the room. This place where we know, as our eyes are closed, we cannot see, that sense is cut off. There is only one present, and that present is always giving of itself. It's always loving. There can be no opposite in this infinite mind of God. And I give thanks for all the good that is in each one's life. I give thanks for all the good that is yet to unfold in each one's life. And I give thanks for the experiences that we all get to have as spiritual beings, really knowing how powerful and magnificent that we are. And in that atmosphere of gratitude, then, I say thank you, God, thank you, life, and I release this word into that substance of infinite good, where I know this word spoken right here and right now is made manifest in each and every one's life, and so it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
Woo.